This week's episode is brought to you in part by MPix, delivering the highest quality prints and products from your photos. Shoot today, upload tonight, we ship tomorrow.
Welcome to PhotoshopUser TV, brought to you by the National Association of Photoshop Professionals. And now, here are your hosts, the Photoshop Guys.
Hi everybody, and welcome to another deleterious episode of PhotoshopUser TV, brought to you by PhotoshopUser Magazine. The magazine with the creepy covers. Well, welcome everybody. My name is Scott Kelby, and I'm joined by two men, each one more beautiful than the next.
Oh, gosh.
To my right,
It's going to be a good show, I can tell.
the lugubrious Matt Kloskowski.
What was I?
Lugubrious.
Lugubrious. That's good. Hey, everybody, welcome back.
I like that.
And the lather-bathed Corey Barker.
Thank you.
I think.
Thanks. I don't know if that was good or not. Well, hi, everybody. We've got a great show for you. Not really. But it starts with a tip, a Lightroom tip from Mr. Matt Kloskowski.
It does start with a Lightroom tip. Oh, gosh, you know what? We should shut our phones off.
Our phones off? Yeah, hold on. They usually tell us that before the show, but...
I left mine in the office, so.
All right, so my tip this week is to be able to take a whole bunch of photos and turn them into a black and white. I'm actually going to turn them into a different, use another preset on them as well. But it all kind of serves a purpose of showing off your photos, whether it's going to be on a website or whether it's going to be inside of, you're giving a proof to somebody. So it actually turns out really cool. So what we'll do is we'll select, I've got some photos here. We select them all. And you can go edit, select all, or just press Command or Control A. And then what you do is you right-click and choose Create Virtual Copies. And when you do that, Lightroom creates a copy of the photos, and you see what's cool about it is it leaves them all selected.
Yep.
Because now I am in the library module, so now all I have to do is right-click, and I go down here to Develop Settings, and you'll see all these little presets that come with Lightroom. I've apparently got a lot of presets as you scroll down here, but let's go back up.
Lord.
You'll see all the presets that come with Lightroom. And so we'll come in here, let's go with Antique Grayscale for the first one. And it converts them all to that grayscale. Now you can see it makes some of them a little bit brighter. Let's go in here and select a few of these. And probably the only time I ever use the quick develop panel here is to just quickly change a setting on all three photos. So let's go in and let's pretend you didn't have to deselect there because that just ruined my tip. But you'll see, you'll see that Lightroom, it left everything selected.
Right.
So now if I just right click again and I go to create virtual copies, it's going to create another virtual copy. I right click, it leaves them all selected. I just come down here, I choose develop settings, and let's just go with, bleach bypass for this one. So it now creates another version of all these photos. Where it gets really cool is now if I want to go to a website and I go to the web module, because that's really what the Lightroom web module is better for. It's proofing. It's setting up a proof site for people to look at your photos and kind of pick their favorites. Well, as long as you set up a 3x3 grid, they're each going to appear
Right, the color,
in
then
the
the
same row.
duotone, then the black and white.
Exactly. And you can do the same thing if you go over to the print module and you want to create a contact sheet. So we'll just create a contact sheet here. And you go to columns, you take that down to 3, and then you can include as many rows as you want here, but you'll see it does the same thing that it did in the web module. So you got your color version, your black and white, your antique, whatever version it is. But it's a nice way, if you're going to do that to your photos and you're going to let people pick which ones they like, it's a real quick way to kind of show them off in the same place.
Very nice. Can I add a tip on top of your tip?
You can add a tip on top of it.
Okay, so I use the same exact technique, but for something slightly different. Sometimes I just want to know, when I've taken a bunch of color photos, what would it look like in black and white? Like, well, is there a good black and white in here? So what I'll do is I'll start out exactly the same way you did. I make the virtual copies. While the virtual copies are still selected, I just press the letter V. That will temporarily switch you to black and white. So they're all black and white there, and I can see if there's anything worthwhile. And if not, if I don't see anything I like, I just hit delete, and all the virtual copies go away. So,
good tip.
Thank you, Matt.
Jolly good.
Hey, I've got a tutorial for you. I've got a tutorial on, well, it's a retouch here.
Oh, hold on. There you go.
Yeah, okay, that's backwards. I actually did that. At a seminar in Photoshop
you did it
World.
at Photoshop
I had like
World.
850 people in my room, and I started going, my tablet's going the wrong way, my tablet's going the wrong way. And I looked and I realized, and I had to tell the crowd, oh, I have it upside down. It was the running joke for 3 solid days. It was
It
misery.
was fun because
Hey,
we all got to make fun of him too.
So I want to talk about something real quickly before we do this tutorial, because I got a lot of questions about this. And I'm going to talk about a Wacom tablet. I don't get paid if you buy a Wacom tablet, if you buy 1 or 100. If you say, Scott sent me, it doesn't change my world at all. But I want to talk to you about this tablet because I just wrote a book on retouching. And a lot of people ask me about, well, is it necessary to get a tablet? And here's what I would say to you. Well, of course, Corey, Mr. Tablet says, yeah. And you use tablet too. All right, so let's just forget about the tablet at this point. If you were going to get a job as a house painter, so the first day on the job, you'd walk up and the foreman would go, well, you know, where's your roller? Well, I don't have a roller. Well, where's your edge brush? I just have this regular paintbrush.
Yep.
You know how long it would take you to paint a house? And you know that your details would not be really great. I mean, could you paint an entire house with a regular paint? You could. It's just going to take you longer, and it's not going to be quite as good. So that's exactly how I feel about a tablet. A roller and an edge brush, they're tools of the trade for house painters. This is the tool of the trade for retouchers. If you're going to do any kind of serious retouch, or even really care about it, you want it to be quick and easy, especially if you're a photographer. If you're a photographer and you want to retouch, then this is a weird thing about photography. We're expected to deliver retouched images, but most photographers don't get to charge for the retouching.
Yeah.
High-end photographers do. If your client's like Nordstrom, then you get to charge them for, you know. But if you're doing something for Bob's Dry Cleaners, you don't get to say photography $600, retouching $300. They'll look at you like you're from Mars, but they expect a retouched image. So if you're a photographer, it'll especially speed your work. Now, I'm going to tell you that something that Wacom will hate. I use their Intuos 4 medium tablet. So I don't ever tell people to buy big giant tablets. I tell them to get the medium size for work, or this is the one I travel with. This actually is in my laptop all the time. It's the Intuos 4 small. And oh, you got the small too?
Indeed, I do.
Yeah. So this weighs nothing, and it's in my everywhere I go. I use these on planes. I literally, if I have the seat next to me open, I put this on the tray
I've done
table.
that too, yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it's not open.
Even if it's not open, like, do you mind if I just?
You're not using your tray,
You're
right?
not
I travel
using
with
your
Scott.
tray.
He's like, Matt, do you mind the middle seat? You know, it'd be great to talk while we're flying, and
We're really retouching.
I'm holding a Wacom thing.
All right, so I've got an image here we're going to retouch now that we've gone through our thing there. So just a couple of things. This was taken in a class that I did. So, all right, so what we're going to look at is mostly facial retouching here. So I'm just going to take a quick couple look at some things that we might fix. So she has a little red eye vein there, which is very, very common. There's some little dark circles under her eyes, a couple minor blemishes and stuff, and we're mostly going to work on that stuff today, and making the eyes look better just in general. So we're actually going to start with the eye. Now, I'm going to remove the eye vein using a technique that's a little different than you would normally use. And because I think when people think, oh, well, there's something to remove, I would get the healing brush or the patch tool. When you're working in tight on an eye like that, what happens is it really starts to look funky really, really quick. It's one of the hardest places to retouch in tight like that. So the technique I'm going to show you is, it's incredibly simple. It takes a few seconds longer, but I think that you'll get much better results than you will. And I love the healing brush and the patch tool, so don't get me wrong. It's not any kind of thing against them. It's just, okay. So we're gonna start with, we're just gonna use the regular old brush tool with a soft edge brush, a small one. And we're gonna lower the opacity of the brush to 20%. So way down there. We're going to add a new layer. We're going to redo our retouching on this layer. And what we're going to do is, let me zoom in even a little tighter. It's not going to look pretty, but you get the idea. You're going to option click to sample the color right below the vein, and then you're just going to kind of build up right over the vein a little bit, and it just goes right away. But it does it without the modeling stuff. But we're going to do one more little thing. We're not done with this tip yet, but there's one more thing we can do that's going to make a nice difference in this. Okay.
And you're hitting the.
Yeah, I'm just going.
You're just sampling every so often.
Yeah, every time you see that appear, that little circle appear, that's me, because the color here is actually slightly different than the color over here. So as you move across the eye, you know, the eyes are, they're round. That's really? No, but you know what I mean. Eyes are. So you know, as light hits it on different parts, as Corey will tell you, the light changes because he's all about the eyes. Okay, so we've kind of gotten rid of that there. Now, to make it look even more realistic, we're going to add a tiny bit of noise to this layer that we just did, and it's a particular kind of noise. So we're going to go, I don't think the other eye is okay before I add it. How's the other eye looking over there? Oh, there's a little tiny vein right there. Let's just go ahead and get rid of that while we're here, while we're in remove vein mode. There we go. That's not beautiful. but that is. Okay, now let's back out. So what you're going to do, under the filter menu, under noise, choose add noise. We're going to add 1% of uniform, not Gaussian. Most of the time we use Gaussian for other things, but this time we're going to use uniform. It gives you a different kind of noise that I think works better for this. And make sure the monochromatic checkbox is turned on. If not, you're going to get little red, green, and blue dots. You want monochromatic dots, and click OK. It's a very, very minor thing. It takes you 2 seconds to do, but it adds a little bit of grain back into what you just did, and it makes the retouch look that much more believable. Now, I'm going to flatten the image. I wouldn't normally flatten the image, but I'm not going to go into the whole workflow.
Dave's not here, so it's okay.
Yeah, all right. So one of the things, if Dave Cross was here, he would kill us. Let's get rid of some of the small blemishes. So this is where I go to the healing brush. With the healing brush, to remove a blemish, I put the size of the brush cursor just a little bit larger than the blemish I want to remove. I move over it and just click once or twice. I tried just to click rather than painting strokes, because just you don't really need to. So Option click nearby. On PC, of course, you would Alt click and then click right over the images. Now, as you move around the person's face, the texture actually changes. The texture on your forehead actually goes from side to side. The texture in different parts of your face are different. So make sure that you resample as you move to different areas, because if I sampled on her cheek and moved up here, you would see a completely different skin texture and it'd look weird. So you'll see this, every time you see that little target appear, that's me choosing a different spot. And we're not gonna do any skin smoothing actually. All we're gonna do, whoops, I zoomed out. All we're gonna do is remove blemishes at this point. And a lot of times, if someone has pretty good skin to begin with, if you remove all the blemishes, and the brush is a little large, then you don't even need to do the skin smoothing, because that way, because everyone's always worried about texture. Well, if you don't actually put any skin blurring on, you just
you don't have to worry about
yeah, you just remove all the
texture.
blemishes. It's amazing how many times when you remove all the blemishes, you think, hey, you know, their skin looks pretty good. I was a little on cheek there. And there we go. This stuff a little over here. All right, so we got rid of a couple of the blemishes. All right, now let's work on this eye area. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a duplicate of the background layer. We're gonna press Command J, or you can just literally create a new blank layer if you'd like. You can, let me just create a new blank layer. Just make sure that your healing brush is set to current, either current and below, or just easier, all layers. Oops, I said, like the way I said all layers,
that.
but chose current layer. But you weren't going to say anything, were you?
You practiced that, didn't you?
It's currently all layers.
All right, so let's go and remove. Now we're going to have to paint a stroke. So I want to remove this whole area. So let's go on Option click in a clear area and just kind of paint that away. Now, the good thing about this technique is you don't have to worry about being perfect. Just for now, kind of obliterate that area. And it looks creepy and fake, but that's okay, because we don't really care. No, we're gonna do something that's gonna make it look less creepy and fake in just a moment. So you don't have to worry about making it absolutely perfect right now. Just kind of get it done. The reason why you don't have to worry about making it perfect is we're going to lower the opacity of that layer. If you completely remove those, everybody, I don't care if you're shooting a little kid, they have a little bit of wrinkles, a little bit of something in there. Of course, as we get older, these get more, the crevices get deeper and things. But just go back here and lower the opacity a little bit. And it brings back just a little bit of that, and it looks much more natural, just a tiny little bit. But look at the difference. So you can see right there, right? Look, but watch. It's dramatically different. Now, as people get older, you can't remove as quite. So if you're working, if you're doing a retouch of someone who's 60 years old, you can't quite go as far, because what'll happen is they'll start to look. You want to make them look 5 to 10 years younger, not 25 years younger. It'll look creepy.
Or a mannequin.
Right, or a mannequin. Thank you. All right, we're going to flatten again, even though we normally wouldn't do that. And lastly, I'm just going to work on the eyes just a little bit. We'll wrap this baby up. So 2 things that I do to the eyes. I do this to every single eye I retouch. Number 1 is to make the whites whiter of the eyes. Even if you're using a lot of lighting, even if you have a lot of light in your subject, unless you've really got it lit exactly right, their eyes are always going to need a little bit more light. It's a very, very simple technique. Duplicate the background layer, switch the blend mode to screen. All right, then you're going to hide this brighter layer behind a mask. You're going to hold the Option key if you're on a Mac, or on PC, of course, you would hold Alt and click that little layer mask icon right there. Now, we're going to get the brush tool over here. Since this mask is in black, we are going to paint in the opposite color, white. Then we're going to raise the opacity back to 100%, and I'm going to just paint over the white areas of the eye. Like this, and maybe just a tad in the corner. That doesn't look very good, too big of a brush. And then that looks just bad all the way around. And let's go over here, and we're going to brighten this up a little bit. And again, if you're not using the mouse, you can still, I mean, not using a tablet, you can still do this very easily. Now, the biggest mistake people make when they first start retouching is to leave those eyes way, way too bright.
No, that looks good.
But you see this all the time. So my first starting place is to automatically drop it to 50%. Also, it's tough to make a judgment on how the eyes look when it's in close. You've got to back out. So back out to like 50% or even a smaller view, and then take a look. Even at 50%, those might be a little bright.
Yep.
Let's try 40. Maybe something right in there, 38.
Yeah.
So see how it was a little gray, and it fixed that up. All right, then we're going to add one more thing to these eyes. And we're going to add a new layer, and we're going to create a circle right there. All right, so I want to fill this circle with white, and then we're going to cut across the top of the circle. We're just going to cut it out like this. So we have kind of like a half a moon. Now, hold the Command key on Mac or the Control key on PC. You're going to click on the thumbnail icon here, puts a selection around that, and we're going to drag it up a little bit like that. So it kind of makes a melon. Now, you're going to do two things to the melon. Number one, actually, I think I need my melon a little slimmer, so let's move it down a little bit. It's a slice of cantaloupe. Thank you, Corey, for noticing. It really is cantaloupe. Corey's been hitting the crack again. Okay, I made that a little too. Let me just find a middle spot. There we go. All right. And you want to move this kind of right up under the eye. All right. You're going to do two things. Switch to soft light mode. Looks bad. Go filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and we're going to add a little bit of blur in there just to kind of make that like a little kicker light in the eye. All right. Now, we have a little bit of it spilling over there. We'll fix that in a moment. But while you have this one done, I would hold the Option key, drag yourself a copy, and take it to the other eye. You'll probably have to rotate the other one a little bit, which is no big deal. All right. And then maybe even squeeze it in just a hair. I think both of them might need a little bit of squeezing. But it should look like a little half moon, half melon, whatever. This one could, I think, use it too.
Melon.
Melon. This is a
Melon slice.
honeydew. There we go. And this one could use a little rotating. There, something like that. And then lower the opacity so they don't look crazy fake. And it just gives a little bit of life and kicker to the eyes here. So if you look at, see what it added that little bit of, and then you can just kind of move them together. Okay, so that's just a little bit. Now, so while we're talking about retouching, hint, hint, okay.
I think I hear a segue coming.
Yes, I have a brand new book. I just finished it. It hasn't come out yet, but it is Professional Portrait Retouching Techniques for Photographers. So it's not a book to teach high-end retouching. It's a book for photographers who have a tight time limit and stuff. So you can pre-order it.
I was going to just jump in. It's kind of like what you said before. Photographers are expected to retouch their photos. So, you know, a high-end retoucher is expected to spend 4 or 5 hours on a photo.
Absolutely.
But you wrote the book
on just the face.
You wrote the book from the avenue of the photographer has to be quick about it, but it still needs to look good.
Right, it still has to look good, but you don't have 4 hours to retouch a photo. You may have 10 minutes.
Yep.
So that's what the book's all about, and it's got a lot of cool things in them. I'm very happy with how it came out, so I hope you guys like it. You can pre-order it at Amazon, at Barnes & Noble, any place, or you can go to kelbytraining.com. I think you can find it there as well.
Yep. Cool, man.
So,
Well,
new book. Hey, can we show the cover here?
We can show the cover here.
Oh, there we
I like
go.
that cover.
All right, thanks. Thank you.
All right. Hey, guys, we're going to take a very quick tip. When we return, we have a contest.
We're going to take a quick tip?
A quick tip. Did I say? I did say tip.
You said tip.
Then we're going to come
Okay.
back for a short break.
We're going to take a quick tip and come back for a short break. We'll have Corey's tutorial. We'll have contests. We'll have all kinds of crap.
Do we have a slow-moving jib?
Don't look at the jib.
Don't look at the jib.
I can't not look at the jib.
Don't look
When
directly
the
at
jib
the
moves, we have to
Look away. Okay, sorry.
Sorry. We'll see you back here in a minute.
Hi, everybody. Scott Kelby here, still with Mac Laskowski.
Still.
And Corey.
Hello.
Hello. How are you, my friend?
Hello. How are you?
He is very good. Hey, just want to mention at the end of this month, we have the Photoshop World Conference and Expo. It's the world's largest Photoshop event.
And our favorite time of the year.
Our favorite time of year. We love Photoshop World. It's so much fun. It is
And it comes twice a year.
It comes twice a year. So this is on the East Coast. So this is going to be held in Orlando, Florida on March 30th. Is that right?
Yeah, March 29th, 30th.
29th, 30th, and April 1st.
Yeah.
There you go. Because I went, wait a minute, April doesn't have 31 days. So March doesn't.
March.
No, March has 31 days.
It might. It's the end of March.
It's the end of March.
End of March. End of March, first
We
of
really
April.
don't know when it is. I hope we show up. But anyway, thousands of people will be coming from all over the world to be there. We want you to be there. We'll all be there. What are you teaching this year?
I'm teaching a half-day HDR pre-conference session, so the day before it starts.
What day is that?
it's the end
Sometime
of March.
at the end of March.
And so I'm teaching a half-day pre-con with RC. We take people out, shoot, and then come in and process the HDR. I'm teaching a class on selecting and compositing and kind of moving
Ooh,
people off the
that's
backgrounds.
good.
I got another HDR class I'm teaching and a Lightroom class.
Dang, that's a lot.
Oh, and we're teaching.
We're teaching
I'm co-teaching the blog.
We're teaching. We have a social media track. We're teaching blogging for photographers.
Yeah.
So what are you doing there, Corey? Corey, what are your?
I'm excited. I've got a Hollywood effects class I'm going to be doing, and
Oh, nice.
of course 3D. I know you're going to be there. And
Okay, I don't use 3D as much, but can I say this? I make a lot of fun of 3D. He's the best at 3D. He is. Everybody in this industry knows Corey's the man. Adobe even comes to him.
Yeah.
He's the man when it comes to 3D. Even though I don't use it myself, I can still appreciate his skill.
oh, and I'm also doing design effects.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
so I've got a lot of good stuff. So
All
I'll
right.
be in the expo. I'll be all over the place.
What am I teaching?
I know you're doing the blogging panel.
I got to do the blogging panel with Matt. I got a portrait retouching class, all new stuff, and I've got a class on.
Lightroom.
Lightroom, thank you. I got a Lightroom Killer Tips class. And I have another class. Oh, Photoshop for travel photographers.
Oh, cool.
So I have so I'm pretty excited about those. I got the blogging panel. I'm teaching in the Ellen Chrome booth. I'm doing a lighting demo thing on the show floor, and something else too. I forgot what it is.
I'm sure they'll know when they get there.
You'll know when you get there because we give you a little thing that says where everything is. But anyway,
that way.
it's not too late to sign up. We would love to have you come there. It is go to photoshopworld.com. Hey, if you go to the website, up at the very top of the page, you'll see a little thing that says Watch Now. It's a little video, just a little short video. It's like 2 minutes that gives you an idea of what Photoshop World is all about. If you watch that video, I want to warn you, you are going to want to come really, really badly because you're like, I gotta go. That's good. And if you've never been, why not? This is the year to do it.
No, it's fun, and it's, like I said in the beginning, it is our favorite favorite time of the year because we're always in here. We're always kind of teaching. This is where we actually get out and a lot of people don't realize, but we like to get out and talk to the people that we teach.
Yeah.
We love
It's
that.
not like you see us walking through the hall and we're not answering questions. I mean, we're answering questions.
We hang out
for
with
3 or 4
everybody.
days straight. So.
Yeah, it is. It's so much fun because you know what? Like you're watching us at home, right? Or at work. I hope not. But but you're watching us, and we're here and you're there. And we love the opportunity to actually meet the people that we train, like to shake their hands and talk to them. And it's so much fun to actually meet the people on the other end of the screen. Because right now we're just looking at a camera, and now we're looking at that camera
see somebody
and that
there.
camera.
They're always
there is?
very.
Yeah, the blonde guy.
Oh, dude, put your get dressed. Anyway, but outside of that, it's one of our most
It's
fun
always an
times of the year.
enthusiastic crowd. I don't know.
Oh, it's-
anybody you talk to, it's just very energetic.
It's a tremendous amount of energy. But be that as it may, Corey will be teaching there, and he'll be doing this tip. No, you won't be doing this tip at the show, will you?
I don't know. Well, if I get a special request, perhaps.
But he's
you
got a
get
cool
him
tip
to?
for you. All right, Corey, what do you got, my friend?
Actually, it's actually something that you and I developed back when we did it down in Dirty Tour.
Oh, I know what this is.
Lens flare brush type
Yeah.
thing. So here's an image I've got. It's a simple paparazzi shot, but I want to enhance the
There are no
flashes.
simple paparazzi
Okay,
shots.
well, let's call it what it is. It is a dramatic paparazzi shot.
There you go.
Not quite dramatic enough, though. I'm thinking the flashes here need a little bit more pizzazz, if you will. So I'm going to first fill this layer, an empty layer, with black. Let's get all my settings right here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and use a lens flare. So we'll go to Render, down here in Filters, we go to Lens Flare. And I'm going to use this Movie Prime. I've never used this filter before because I've never found a use for it. In fact,
Until today.
in fact, most of the lens flares here are pretty useless, except for the first one. However, I'm going to go ahead and position this right here in the middle, and there it is. Looks pretty cool. However, I'm going to go ahead and take out the color. Let's go under Image Adjustments and go to Desaturate. And then when you're defining a brush in Photoshop, of course, the black area is your densest part of the brush, and then the white will be ignored. In this case, it's obviously reversed. If I defined a brush now, it would define the background, leaving this all white area alone. So we need to invert it. So we'll go to Image Adjustments again and go to Invert. Now, before I define it, I've got a couple of lines here that are going right to the edge of the document. So I'm just going to use a gradient going from foreground to transparent right here. We'll just use white and just paint it in to fade those ends. And now I'm ready to define a brush. So we'll go under the Edit menu, Define Brush Preset. I do not have to select it because it is ignoring all the white area anyway. It is only looking at the gray and black pixels in the image here. So we'll define it based on that, and we can go and turn this layer off. And now all I have to do is just go to my brush tool, locate the brush. It'll be the very last brush defined in there, and there it is.
Usually.
Usually.
Every once in a while it throws me.
Yeah.
Throws a little curveball at me, and it's halfway.
Sometimes
through
it'll show up like in the middle of the list for some reason.
It's fun
yeah.
when you're in front of a group of people, too.
So again, on a new blank layer, you just go over each one of the little flashes and then go boop, boop, boop.
That's cool.
That is cool.
And if you want to make it more dramatic, you can kind of double it up. And even taking it one extra step further if you like, go ahead and put a layer style on here. Just do like an outer glow layer style. Let's give it like a kind of a cool blue glow on that. And there you have.
Dude, you're seriously good at Photoshop.
Nice dramatic.
You should be on our show.
I should. May I come back? No.
Yes, please do. All right. Hey, thank you, Corey. That was, dude,
Thank you.
I like that.
Fist bump.
That was good. Fist bump. Boom. All right, we're going to take a short break.
Yes, we are.
Tell them, Matt, is it a short break or a short tip?
Short tip,
It's a short break followed by, not a short tip, but a short contest question of sorts.
It's really more of a trivia thing, but
Yeah.
we're giving away some stuff, so
I'm sure we are.
Gotta make it
Here in just a
fun.
minute.
Spice it up some way.
Or two.
spicy.
Hi guys, welcome at Kelby Training. I'm Frank Dorov and today we're going to freeze motion. This is my model. Hi Dallas. Hi. And let's make a jump. 1, 2, 3. And if you want to know how to freeze action, you really have to watch this class. And we're not only freezing models like Dallas, no, we're going out to a BMX track.
All right, so we're back, and we've got a quick contest. So I spent the whole break looking through Photoshop for a good contest question, and here it is. Can you tell us which dialog might you find the command top left pixel color?
Oh, it's that one right there on your screen.
Yes, exactly. So don't look at my screen. Look at me. Top left pixel color.
Look at me.
I'm so tempted to mess with him and just
Tell
say,
me what the dialogue. And if you tell me, you may or may not win whatever Matt's about to tell you. You may or may not win. So.
you may or may not win a. So you actually, that's just a trivia question. You don't
That's
have
just for
to.
fun. You don't
Exactly,
have to answer
yeah.
the question.
So here's what you do. You want to enter the contest. The prize is going to be a Photoshop World Pass. We just talked about it earlier. If you want to be there, it is a full conference pass. You still have to get yourself there, and you still have to find some way to stay there. We hear that Corey accepts.
Borders.
Yeah,
The bidding
if you want to stay in
$250.
Corey's room, he'll
He's got
usually
plenty of
let
room.
3 or
Believe
4
me, there'll be
people
nobody
stay.
else there.
I sleep in the bathtub anyway.
Sorry.
Oh, I caught that.
Oh, come on.
Thank you.
Good. It was
All
gold, baby. Gold. All right. Where do they enter this? Where do they enter this contest?
All right, so go to kelbytv.com/PhotoshopUserTV. Just leave a comment. You don't have to enter the trivia contest. Just say hi, leave an idea for the show, whatever you want to write there. As soon as you leave a comment, you will be entered into the contest, and you may win.
Also, let's just say that you can't come to the full conference, that you're in the Orlando area or something. We do open the expo floor to the public. And so there's all these different vendors there, all these different companies selling everything from camera gear to software to hardware, all that different stuff. And there's all kinds of classes in the show.
Yeah, there's
floor,
lots of
too.
training sessions.
And we always have a good turnout for that, for the public.
We have a
day.
great turnout. So if you want to go to photoshopworld.com and click on the little thing that says Expo, and you'll see how to get your Expo pass. And if you get it up front, it's free. If you show up at the door, they make you pay. So get it free
up front.
now.
Yes, definitely.
Well, guys, thank you very much for hanging with us for another episode of Photoshop User TV. We had a wonderful time. We hope you did not leave. So,
I wouldn't count on it.
I wouldn't count on it. No. So for those of you who are still stuck with us, on behalf of myself and Mr. Corey Barker, I'm lanolin-soaked Kelby. And you are?
I'm just me.
He's just him, Corey Barker.
I'm Matt Klebe.
I'm 3D.
And each one more beautiful than the next. And
Matt Klebe.
Matt Klebe. We'll see you guys next week right here on Photoshop User TV. Take care, everybody.